You know that company Monoprice that makes all your cables? Did you know that they're getting into the gaming space? I didn't either. Did you know that they made an arcade fight stick? That's news to me too. I'm Ron Burke, editor-in-chief for GamingTrend.com, and today we're going to unbox the Dark Matter fight stick from Monoprice. Let's find out if the guys that make all those cables are any good at making gaming equipment. Right out of the gate, there's a lot to like. This is an aluminum chassis, so this is going to hold up really well to a lot of abuse, as will these genuine Sanwa Denshi joystick and buttons, and these are all user replaceable. I have a deep appreciation for that because it does mean that when these do wear loose, you can go ahead and replace them with easily obtained commodity parts. It's a little weird to say that weight is a good thing, but when it comes to an arcade stick, you want it to stay put. This one weighs 7.7 pounds. It will stay put, and there's also a set of rubber feet underneath that will also ensure that where you place it is where it stays. Now here's a word you've not heard in a while, turbo. So this button right here, if you depress any one of these buttons and then slide this turbo, it's going to enable turbo for that button. So if you have a game that you are repeatedly pressing a button and you want to be able to turbo it really fast, well, there's your turbo button for exactly that. If you've played a game console in the last decade, then you know what these buttons do. Starting here, you have a home button, a share button, and an options button. Those are pretty self-explanatory. I don't think I have to go into any detail on those. This last button here is a key lock button, and that's useful for locking down pretty much all the rest of these, as well as L3 and R3. So it's going to lock home, share, options, L3 and R3 to ensure that you don't accidentally press them during gameplay. Speaking of L3 and R3, you're going to find those over here. There are times when you need to use L3 and R3, usually to page between different options in a game, and you'll find those buttons up here. You'll also find a switch touchpad button, and what this button does is it enables the touchpad that you'd find like on a PlayStation controller momentarily, so you can use that with the stick to be able to momentarily control and select things on screen. Last but not least, we have the aforementioned Sanwa Denshi stick and 8 buttons with a slight offset to make sure that that's ergonomically comfortable while you're fighting. On the back is a lone USB Type A port, and that is not probably what you think it's for. This is for connecting an Xbox or a PlayStation controller. When you're using it with those consoles, you do have to connect one of those controllers to this port, and that's just the limitation of the fight stick. You have to do that. I find that it does give you a little bit of additional flexibility because you don't have to constantly hit that switch button to emulate, say, the touchpad or switch between the D-pad and the left analog stick. So it's kind of convenient for me to have that connected. Want to see what's in the mystery port? Me too. So back here is a port that contains all of your cables. So it wouldn't be very fair to ask you to connect it to a PlayStation 4 or 5 or Xbox controller without providing a cable to do so. So that's exactly what this is. USB Type A to Type C. This is your primary connection, so that's going to go to your game console or your PC. Here is a connector for a Nintendo Switch or a mobile device. This obviously can be used on a phone. I don't know why you would, but you could. And then the last little object is tucked way back here, and that is one, looks like a Torx bit screwdriver. What would that be for? Well, that's what comes next. I did mention that you can remove the sticks and buttons and replace them, so let's see how that's done. If you've ever been inside of an arcade cabinet, then you know exactly what you're looking at here. These are all color-coded with the wiring that comes off of this main wire loom, so you know which one goes to which. And replacing these buttons is as simple as there's a small squeeze clip there and they pop out. You put the new one in, you drop those leads in, and that button's replaced. Same thing with the Sanwa sticks. 4 screws there. That whole assembly comes out, this wiring loom comes off. You put the new one in, lock it down, wiring loom goes back on, and you're good to go. I love to see this level of user maintainability inside of a device. While this is aimed at the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, Android, and I guess you could use it on your Switch as well. But that's because you can swap these things out, it's going to maintain this device for far longer than those consoles will be around. You'll be able to extend the life of this device pretty much indefinitely. While you have the back open, you can replace this wallpaper. You're going to pull all 8 of these buttons and this fight stick. Remember, that's just 4 screws and some clips, and you'll be able to get access to the essentially paper background that is the background that you see right here. I'll leave a link in the description where you can get some cool custom printed stuff, or you can pick from things like Street Fighter or Tekken. I recommend Darkstalkers, your choice, but you can personalize this if you wish. And with that, there's only one thing left to do. Let's fight. So I was thinking to myself, what is the dumbest way possible that I could test this? Then it dawned on me. How about my Steam Deck connected to a hub, then connected to the dark matter and running on a crappy Dell monitor? Perfect. Let's do it. By the way, Street Fighter V, not a supported game on the Steam Deck, but 60 frames per second and apparently full of ads. So there's no lag whatsoever. I don't feel any input issues despite having this completely ridiculous setup. And I gotta say, having access to all of the controls, just like in the arcade, man, this is just how games are supposed to be played. Perfect KO. No better way to sum up exactly what I'm dealing with right here. So there you have it. Monoprice has managed to deliver incredible build quality, genuine Sanwa parts at a price that cannot be beat. I see similarly spec'd fight sticks for around $179 online, but Monoprice has priced this down to $119. Now, unless you're gonna build your own arcade cabinet, which I highly recommend and is way more expensive, this is how you're gonna bring the fight home. I'm Ron Burke, editor-in-chief for GamingTrend.com, saying stay safe out there, and we'll see you again very soon.